If you're a multifamily investor that's having issues with evictions right now, I'm going to tell you 6 strategies that we utilize for our property management and our multifamily investments, and they work very well for us. So let's start with our number one thing, and that's communication. We always had, across our portfolio, our property managers needed to know everybody that was on site, or all the tenants, that is. Well, on site too, right? They need to know all their employees. But, we really want them to know, preferably by their first name, and be able to acknowledge them. And that has to start with day one when you're signing that lease, and you want to sit down with a potential tenant and go through the lease completely. What's going to happen if you get evicted, if there's damage to the property, if they get a pet that's not on the lease, if there's a noise complaint, and then also go completely through your community guidelines and explain it to them so there's no confusion down the road. Number 2 on the list, memo list. I just did a short video on this the other day. You may have seen it. If not, go check it out. Move in, move out list. So once they've executed the lease, you're going to want to grab your memo list, go out to the unit, take the new tenant, walk them through it. It's a condition report is what it is. How's the carpet look? How's the paint look? How's the ceiling tile look? Bathrooms, entryways, stairs. It's all on there. And so now we have put a list up under Joe Killinger under tools. You go to the bottom, you'll see the document there. Take it, customize it, utilize it. I am going to put a lot more documents on there, so check it out. But back to the memo list, make sure you fill it out when they move in. Now when they move out, you take the same document, you filed it away obviously, you go back through the unit with them when they're moving out, and you'll go through and do a condition report again. And if you're going to take anything out of deposit, it will be right there for them to see. So it can save you a lot of headache and heartache down the road. So don't hesitate to go in and grab that on the website. Number 3 on the list, open communication. When George and I are doing our investments in multifamily, we always strive to have a staff, or actually when George and I are doing our self-management, we strive for ourselves to have open door policy. We want our tenants to feel secure when they came and talk to us. It's that open door communication where people feel like they can come in and talk to you, and not everybody in the property is going to know about it, and you're going to give them good ideas of how maybe you can help them overcome it. And especially with something financial, if somebody's come upon tough financial times, it's hard to get them to talk about it, or it's hard for anybody to talk about it, right? So you want to remove that. You want to make it easy for them to come in, sit down, and talk to you about what they're going through and how you can help them. Number 4 on the list, negotiate with a tenant before you give them that late rent notice. Don't hesitate to reach out to them and have you come into the office and have a one-on-one talk with you about why are you going to be late. And then you got to look at all your options. You might want to get creative here. Maybe you do a blend and extend. Maybe you just add extra rent to the next couple months so you can recapture it. Really try and work out a plan that's going to be beneficial to the both of you, because replacing a tenant is very expensive. And if you can keep this tenant on board, now you're not going to be able to keep all of them, right? But some of them you might be able to capture or recapture, and you might be able to help them out in the process. So number 5 on the list is rental assistance programs. Number 4, like I said earlier, you try and get creative with them. You can't come to terms, or it's just too far gone financially. They're going to have to be moved out or evicted, or whatever the case may be. Before you do that, see if there's rental assistance programs in the area, rental support programs. A lot of communities have them. We reached out a couple of times, and we got churches that were able to help some of our tenants and kept them in place. So this is something you want to do when you take over a property. Start looking for these programs so you can help these tenants out. And last but not least, number 6, threaten to report them to the credit bureaus. Now this is something I never like to do, and honestly it didn't work that well for us in the first place. Our property management team and George and myself had better luck really trying to get creative with them to work out a rental program. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but if it didn't work out, typically they left the apartment in a lot better shape than if we were going to go through the eviction process. And we've done a ton of evictions, don't get me wrong. It doesn't work 100% of the time, but it's really worth trying. And so anyway, I hope these tips work for you. Please do check back and watch more of our videos. And if you could, please give us a like on this one. And if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe.